the gist of this that maybe I understand slightly better than most people is that's the secret right there. All right, marketing mix. All right, and if you focus on like it's time versus value. Okay, let's say Instagram. All right, we could make a ton of pictures and videos and all this other stuff, and in a year's time that you spent, let's say 300 hours on, you convert 10 leads. All right, do you need Instagram? Yes, you need to build that social trust. They need to be able to find you, research you, but usually that happens after you've already got their attention by other means. So Instagram, let's put social. Under social, you have to actually break it down to Insta, Facebook, and then part of this is like Facebook. Facebook is great, okay? You can build a social following, you can run ads, you can get leads. So this may be 150 hours in a year, like once you build the systems with the ads and all that other stuff, and you'll get, I don't know, 150 leads. This is better ROI than Instagram, especially since you can post things to Facebook that will push to Instagram. So I'm not gonna focus so much on this. Then you've got things like Google. Then like under Google, you got PPC, you got Google, what is it, local services or whatever they call it, Google Guaranteed. This is like set and forget almost. You still have to manage it, change your pictures, do some different things, monitor your budget, but this is very low like time invested in it, and that you get a ridiculous amount of leads in it. Okay, PPC, you have to monitor it closer because if you don't, you're like burning $100 leads. So shameless plug to Hook, they do a great job with PPC for us. So PPC is a big one. You have to stay on top of it. I stay on top of it way more than most people. I think we do a call every 2 weeks, just as like a mid-month and then an end-of-month report, and we change keywords, we move things around, we try and coincide them with the content that we're pushing out with the website, all of that kind of stuff. You've got to stay on this. This may take a lot more time than people think. They think it's set and forget, and it's not, because the market shifts. If it's fall time, do you have an ad for gutter guards? Like the leaves are falling. Like, why do you not do that? You know? So this is the kind of thing you can manipulate this, and that extra 5 to 10 hours in a month can make you, let's say 50 leads in a month or whatever it is. Like, that's more than enough of your time. So as a side note, people think that their time is worth a lot. Unless you have demand, your time is worth nothing. So the demand and what people think about you is what dictates how much your time is worth. So if you don't focus and get all of this demand, then when people are like, oh yeah, it's not worth my time. Like, well, yeah, but you got to create that demand first. And there's a lot of people that try and get there before they're actually worth enough to be there. So
the physical stuff that you guys do, like trucks and
dude, we haven't even got there yet. Like this, so social is one, Google is one. You got, I could sum it all up under branding, but branding and kind of this, more of this is about like how I think about it. Yeah. But you got branding, you got yard signs, you got truck wraps, you've got, gosh, I don't even know. For me, a mailer is not a trigger intent thing. It is a longevity brand awareness thing. Yeah. So we may shoot out mailers, but if I get a lead off of it, I'm like, oh, that's great. That's, wow, I didn't expect that. And the reason why is because I think that if you're doing great, you're getting like a 1 to 5%, conversion rate, which is horrible considering how much you spend on mailers. But if you've done it 3 times in a row to a small demographic of people on top of Facebook ads, yard signs, that you're in the neighborhood, you're knocking around builds, you're gonna 10x this ROI, but you have to do it in conjunction with some other things.
I feel like there's like I wish I had a mic on right now, but I feel like there's like a common thread with people that have more leads than they know what to do with, and people that do everything. But they're not just sitting there kind of like, you know what I mean? They don't have 2 methods.
Yeah,
that's what I
absolutely.
think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So like me personally, like whenever I got serious about marrying my wife, I got rid of my Facebook. I did not have a Facebook for 10 years. until I started Andy's Roofing, and then I was like, oh, well, you got to have social, you got to have a Facebook for this. And I lost like 10 years of, I didn't even know how to share posts. I didn't know how to do like half the stuff all these people know how to do. So I had to spend my time learning this social channel. I'm still not an Instagram guy. Like I just, for the time people put into it versus the leads that they get out, kind of like where our company is, not everybody's there, but like if you told me I was going to get 100 leads from Instagram, I would never even waste my time with it. Like it's not enough leads to sustain the amount of sales reps and what we're trying to accomplish. So if you told me I had to spend 100 hours to get 100 leads, I'd be like, no way, dude. I could spend 100 hours on Facebook and get 500 to 1,000 leads.
I've never gotten one real close deal on Instagram. I just don't think it's a place where like it's not large service. Besides like home builders and remodelers, we have had a closed $1 million house when we used to do it for home builders.
It's intent, man.
Yeah.
Like these people right here, Instagram, they're usually trying to build their own personal brand. So they're trying to build followers and likes and things like that to boost whatever they're trying to do. I don't care about my personal brand. Like all this, like it's Andy's Roofing. So like nobody goes and looks at Andy's Roofing's thing unless it's a byproduct of maybe Facebook or whatever, and they're not going to convert. It's just a social, like a signal of like, hey, they're trustworthy. They have pictures on Instagram. So we push everything from Facebook and Instagram. So you've got branding.
What's your handle on Instagram, by the way? I was looking for
What's my handle on it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. Like they take care of that in
Okay.
there. I got a social media guy for that. So all of these things, so social, Google, branding, all of these pieces, people want to focus maybe just on social. And you can build a 1 to 5 to whatever $1 million company just on social, okay? But to scale to the next level, you got to know how to use this. Like this is, Chuck Toki talks about this. This is pretty much the gas on your fire. Like if you rely solely on PPC, you're going to be in trouble. The reason why is because if you don't have this, there's like your closing percentage is going to be so low on this because this is intent based. They click the first person at the top of the page and you're only going to get about 20% of those. If you have the branding piece, you're going to convert probably 40 to 60% of those people because you're in their local area, they needed it immediately, but they knew who you were. Okay, you could throw radio, TV, all of these pieces. Yeah, you got billboards. I would say community. Sorry, I was a homeschooler, and so my mom made us learn cursive, so my print looks like crap all the time. So community actions, like so school sponsors. We're starting to sponsor a lot of schools, a lot of teams, a lot of different things, and it's coming back. I had a guy that I was dealing with the other day on a big project. He's like, "Hey, you're sponsoring my son's team or something." And I'm just like, "Oh man, that's awesome! Thanks a lot." You know, like, and it went a long way with them. So that kind of stuff, you're getting your name out there, and it's like quiet branding. So while you're not there, these things are speaking to people. So we're on scoreboards, we're on different things. I mean, obviously we have billboards and stuff, but knowing when to utilize what, and also knowing how well to utilize, like Facebook ads. Okay, everybody's boosting posts. Stop boosting posts. All right, use Facebook ads. Get it. Shout out to Joseph Hughes. When you learn how to use Facebook ads, go to Joseph Hughes. He'll teach you how to do that. Okay, they've got a whole platform for it. If you want to do PPC, don't try and do it yourself. I tried to do it 3 times. I burned tens of thousands of dollars doing it myself. Hire somebody that's a specialist in it, and then hold them accountable. Seriously, don't try and do PPC yourself. You'll like, there's a whole nother dashboard. Like, they'll let the guy do it himself because I did it. And it's like, you get the training wheels version. And then, like, really, if you don't get into the other dashboard and know how to, like, manipulate the ads and all that, oh my gosh. I was, like, trying to do it without landing pages.
Yeah.
You know, it was bad. So I burned thousands of dollars. Get somebody that knows how to do PPC, pay them money to do it as a retainer, as well as watch your ROI on the leads. And like, guys,
and communicate with them. That's the other
absolutely.
Like, people, like, it is a little sensitive to the fact, like, if you stop doing repairs for a month and you didn't tell your guy, or you're not trying to get those leads, you didn't tell your company, we can't read your mind, and so then you still got like calls coming in, you know, that type of thing. So yeah.
Whoever's watching this, Do not hire anyone that is not a specialist in your field. Okay? Hook, another shameless plug out to them. They specialize in roofing contractors. They speak the language. They know the key terms in any market that people are going to buy from. You're taking this giant learning curve that you're paying this, let's say, $2,000 to $10,000 a month to an SEO, marketing, whatever they are company that does HVAC and plumbing and all the services over here. They're trying to learn on your dime how to take care of your company. Like, I don't have time to teach them and pay them to go to school on my dime. So you hire people that specialize in roofing. That way they can learn off of other people and me to give me a better ROI. Faster is the key. Faster, okay? There's always an uptake. Let's say you start new campaigns. You're not going to get leads from that immediately. It's kind of like an uptick thing. And then, like if you do PPC ads, you want to coincide those with other forms of marketing and branding and whatever it is. Don't just say, this one is going to work. Facebook is just going to work. You have to do this in conjunction to PPC, in conjunction to mailers, in conjunction to yard signs. And then if you put a billboard in that area, all of those things will come together. All right, so all of this stuff are different forms of marketing, okay? But what they make up is the marketing mix. All right, you as an owner, you direct what the public sees about your company, what they think about your company, how they act about your company. What's the first millisecond of impression that they get whenever they say Andy's Roofing? Oh, yeah, I know Andy's Roofing. They got the green things, they're really bright, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that is comes down from the owner. If you delegate that, don't get mad when people think differently about your company, because you didn't control, as the owner, the company's perception of your company, okay? So this marketing mix is how, like I talked to somebody the other day, they had a brand book. They said, my logos will only be portrayed, or my brand will only be portrayed in this way. So for us, like we've changed our truck wraps. All of the truck wraps have to be the same. I'm a little bit OCD about it. So like the uniforms in the office, all of our salespeople wear the same exact outfit. All of our production people wear a different outfit, but it's the same exact one. Like all the way down to like tucking your shirts in the office. Like I can't stand people who don't tuck their shirt. Everybody's a salesperson here. You're selling yourself to everybody around you that you're having a good day. Like all of that kind of comes into like what you think about your brand, what other people think about your brand, and how consistent you are with that branding is how this is the branding is the secret weapon. Okay, I spend 50% on branding as opposed to PPC, social, all this other stuff. The reason why is because I invest. All right, people invest in PPC, which is an intent-based lead thing that like they'll get leads, they'll get sales, and they'll close them, and then they take that money and they do whatever they want with it. But like what I do is I use this to create more of these, which then over time, when they say branding is the most expensive short-term form of marketing and the cheapest long-term form of marketing. So if I wasn't scaling and moving up like this the way I was, at some point your branding spend, like let's say this is a company's natural trajectory and then they start going like that, okay? Your branding spend will kind of come up with your marketing spend and it will go like this and it will level off. And this right here is ROI. This is all of the money you're gonna make back from basically the social awareness, the top of mindness, or if you want to call it that.
So like, you vibe with SEO, by the way. That's like kind
absolutely.
SEO does follow the brand a little bit.
Absolutely. So like SEO, you got to be moving most of these pieces, like different ones at the same time. So like your website, all right? Website's great. You get keywords, okay? Longevity of that website or how long that domain's been there. Like as soon as you're thinking about starting a business, get the domain, okay? Build out a halfway subpar website or something off of whatever, but just let it sit there because you got to start that domain somewhere, okay? Us, gosh, if I gave you all the history of what I did at Andy's Roofing, like no one would want to start a roofing company. Like I would get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I would go clean gutters because it was right when COVID started. I would do whatever it took all day long. At 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning was my time that I would study and watch YouTube videos. So I watched all the Roofing Insights videos with like a notepad and a pen and took notes and went online. We talk about citations. I did all of the citations myself, documented the logins and everything. Then I figured out that you could pay a company to do like 500 for you. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So all that stuff, I wrote every piece of content for my website. They pretty much gave me a blank platform, and I wrote everything on it, uploaded all the pictures, made to-do lists for the next day to go take pictures on jobs so they weren't stock photos, and put those on the website. And I did that every day for probably like 2 years. You know, at 5 o'clock in the morning, or no, it was 5:45 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, my phone would go off as a notification I needed to post on Google Business Profile. Like, that was how religious we were with it.
Can you wrap up with, like, what has this brought you? Where are you at now? Like, a lot of folks are trying to get where you're at, and you're 3 years in, right? And where are you guys at in revenue? Where are you going?
We're trending, like, you know, it's not all about the numbers, guys.
I know you don't want to tell me,
you know,
but, like somebody needs to hear.
We're over $11 million. Yeah. So,
and in 3 years, right?
Yeah, you know, like.
I know it doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
Like you're probably.
Well, I worry about new guys getting into it because they focus so hard on the numbers. And what you got to focus on, guys, is getting amazing at these different channels, marketing channels, because they're your marketing mix. You need to get like expert level at a few of them. But expert level at a few of them, don't become an expert level Instagram photo taker with filters and all this on your pictures and blah, blah, blah. That's not a converter, okay? It's not gonna get you the leads that you need to scale up a company. You need to become an expert at Facebook, Google, or Facebook ads, Google local services, you gotta set that up. Your PPC has to be on point. You have to have a few campaigns with landing pages and all that. Do not try and set that up yourself. You need to learn how to hold a marketing agency accountable for that, okay? But the branding piece, okay? And when you start your company, if you don't have a wrap vehicle within like the first week, like, you need to do that. That's the bottom line, okay? I use a company out of Arizona called Fleet Wrap HQ. Okay, they've been amazing to deal with. I did all this research. I did it all for you guys. But this company in Arizona, what they are is mainly a design company. So they design these beautiful wraps for us, and then they outsource it to a third-party 3M installer locally that I'll take my truck to. They'll print the wrap here, which they design, which is ultimately I paid them to design the wrap because I want good design. And so they send that there, and these people just install it for however much money. Like, you know, it's all kind of the same within reason on the installation side. The design side is what you need to pay more for. This guy didn't just get off 99 designs and paid $50 for it and then put it on your truck. Like, they actually spend time. We had 32 iterations of design for one, like our first wrap. Okay, so going back and forth, logo placement, what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. All that is extremely important. You gotta be OCD about how your brand is portrayed, okay? I would tell everybody you need to study subliminal messages, because what are you saying without saying anything? Okay, like right now, I'm moving my hands, I'm doing this, I'm speaking, but I'm like, you hear and you see this, but my hands are telling a story. So what is your brand telling people when you're not there? So my trucks, all of them are bright green on the front. If you're driving and you see like this giant green thing coming towards you, like, I've got you whenever, like, you didn't even have to think about it, it's just there. Okay, and so then you're like, man, what is that? Okay, Andy's Roofing. I branded you. There's an impression. Okay, then you got a billboard impression. Maybe you see another wrap vehicle that day. Then you go home and you got a Facebook ad, because if I geo-target an area and you drive through it, your IP address, I got you. So like, all of that kind of stuff. Like, you're getting these impressions. Now you do that every day on the way to work and the way back, and then you got 10, 15, 20 impressions in a week. You become top of mind when they need something. And that is ultimately what we're trying to get to, guys, because let me preface all this by saying I am a retail contractor. Like, I'm not chasing storms. They fall in my lap, fantastic, but I don't need them. Okay, we just cut our marketing budget in half for all of these paid things because we have so many leads, we don't know what to do with them. I got guys running 4 or 5 appointments a day, and I want them to be running like 2 to 3 tops. You know, like, they're not door knocking. We're not finding leads. Like, we've got too many leads. So this stuff, what I talk about marketing mix, if you want to be where I am, okay, you have to learn these things, like how much time do I invest in it versus what is the ROI? And you have to be ruthlessly intentional about it. Okay, I focused on Google Business Profile. I've used this analogy before. Tim probably thinks it's funny. So Google is your second wife if you're married, okay? If you do not show love to your wife, she will turn against you, and she may leave you, okay? If you do not constantly update your Google business profile, get Google reviews, post pictures, do updates, do all of these things, your Google wife is going to say that you don't care about her, and she's going to go find another roofing contractor that is religiously showing her affection, giving her updates, doing Google reviews, doing all of these things. Like, it's extremely important. I would say any new roofer, this is the number one priority for your business, is you need to start creating content for this. Build out your Google business profile, your service pages, your products, all of that, getting all of that perfect, working on your description that shows keywords about what you do as a business, your service areas, all of that stuff. If you need help with that, reach out to me, reach out to Tim. These guys, we can help you do that. But if you don't figure out the Google piece, like Google dominates, was it 92% of all search engines worldwide, and then everybody else falls in that 8%. And then the second piece of that is YouTube. So any YouTube video that you post or little short thing you put on Google Business Profile or your Facebook channels, put them on YouTube, change the descriptions. Now you can use AI to find the best trending keywords in the roofing industry and make those keywords part of your description and your title on what people are searching. They ask you answer, make a question, figure out what the best title for that question would be with AI, and then put that up there, and then you'll trend those answers up a lot higher, especially in your local area. So Google Business Profile is number one. All of these other ones, see what kind of time you invest in them versus how much you get out of it. But I guess the 10,000 foot view piece of this marketing mix is that you can't just do one. If you're just doing Google Business Profile, but you're not doing anything to boost it, like PPC, or if you've got your Google Business Profile figured out, there's a whole nother world of people that are not intent-based that need a roofer and hit roofers near me, and you pop up here because Google loves you. They're going to be over here trying to be in the social, trying to say, hey, does anybody know a roofer? If you don't have a Facebook Andy's Roofing account that people can reference and do at Andy's Roofing or at whatever company it is, then you're not going to get that whole piece of traffic that will convert into more leads. So learning the major things before you focus on the minor things like mailers. Okay, mailers, high money like output for a very low conversion rate. Okay, so what do you use these mailers for? I use them for brand awareness. Okay, like billboards. Billboards. If you don't have, let's say, 100 to 300 Google reviews, don't go get billboards. Like, especially if you have sucky Google reviews. Okay, if you're like a 2.5 Google rated contractor and then you try and get a billboard and you think that that's going to turn it all around, what people are going to do off of billboards, they're going to go by, then they're going to Google you and say, man, they really suck. Like, I'm not going to call them.
With billboards, the name is not memorable. I'm like, that's such a waste.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, premium roofing. And
you can put up a picture or whatever of our billboard. It like within 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds, guys. Okay, I drove past the place where my billboard was going to be. Like every billboard we have, like 10 times, and I do 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. If they don't get your message, what you do and what you're about in 3 seconds, you're wasting your time. You got way too much text on the billboard. So our biggest thing on the billboard is Andy's Roofing. It's really bright. At night when they put the little lights up on it, it like glows in the dark. It's sick, okay? They know exactly what we do. And then I don't list. There's only one billboard that we have that I list services on, okay? Because billboards are not for services. If you're doing Andy's Roofing, what do you think that they think you do? Okay, you do roofing. So you don't need to tell them all of the things that you do, okay? They're going to Google you and figure out more about you. But what you're trying to do is just brand them, get those impressions. So get on your billboard your logo as big as possible. If you have a logo with a ton of words and names and all that and stuff in it, try and simplify that. Maybe look at a rebrand. It has to be very simple, easy, and catchy, okay? So all of this marketing mix, if you're just starting out, you're not going to be able to master all of these. This is number one. This is number two, okay? Google Business Profile, you've got to learn how to do this. You've got to keep up with it consistently. If you don't show this love, you will fall behind other roofers that have an in-house social media person that's posting content regularly on this. And then number two, you got to build that social following as well and do the at Andy's Roofing or go into the local Facebook. There was a girl recently, I think you interviewed her, did $3 million a year just off of Facebook groups. I mean, like, it's a thing. So, guys, if you're starting out, you can get scrappy. You can do Facebook. For me personally, I'm not going to get enough leads to sustain this monster just off of Facebook. It's just not going to happen. So I have to focus on the brand awareness, the top of mind piece, the Facebook ads, the Google, the PPC, the GLS, the mailers. We're not doing radio and TV right now just because the ROI is not quite there. I don't need to build that brand awareness. It's coming. But there are other things that are more important to me right now to build that local brand presence than focusing down in here where you spend a crap ton of money and you get a low conversion rate, a very low conversion rate, but they just know who you are over a long period of time. So like TV, this is probably a $20,000 to $40,000 investment over a year's time to get in front of these people just to make sure that they know who you are for a year. And then they don't have all these other pieces in place. Like, you're wasting your money.
I see people like overspend there and then like pull back on like scrappy lead gen.
Man.
Like, I feel like that's not the way I would do it, but
yeah, I mean, you're burning your money. Like get the high converting, low, I mean, at this point, Google Business Profile, you just post on the regular, you get Google reviews, you build a system for it, and this is not a hard thing to keep up with.
Yeah, like local service ads. If you're not spending all you can on local service ads, like what are you doing with TV right now?
I mean, I've got an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Like I if I maxed out my budget, like, I mean, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the way you got to do it. But if you're a new company coming into it, your budget shouldn't be that high. Like you maybe can't afford to spend thousands and thousands of dollars a week or month or whatever in this, but this should be your number one, open the door, spend as much as you possibly can on this. Absolutely. And then a way to keep getting stupid leads, which Google Local Services does not give you a lot of stupid leads, tailor your services that you're available for. Take out roof repair, only do roof replacement. Let's say you don't want skylight repairs or whatever, take that off of there. So all of this marketing mix is like, it's the business owner's priority to figure out these pieces, say, I only have so much time in a day, and then face it, guys, if you're a new company, you're out here scrappy, you're trying to sell and manage and deliver, and then if you don't have a good office person, which is your number one hire, by the way, first person you should hire is an office person that answers the phone, helps you with QuickBooks, does the back end stuff, and eventually you either groom them like I did into your integrator or your COO, or you end up maybe moving them over into an admin position and getting somebody that can help level up with you on that. But this marketing mix, like guys think, I'm just going to come in, I'm just going to kill it on Facebook. You will to a point, but you will not get the lead volume needed with just Facebook to get a company past that, let's say 3 to 5 million. And I say there's exceptions to the rule because there's companies out here that are crushing it with Facebook. But why not have Facebook and then the yard signs and then the mailers and then all of the stuff that goes with it at the same time that will boost your brand, and you'll spend way less over time than you would if you were just putting all your eggs in one basket. So the owner's responsibility is to learn these different things, how much time versus money that you put into them, and then focus on a few of them first and get those systemized to where they're rocking and rolling, and then dabble. I dabble now. Let's say, let's do a new mailer. Let's spend $3,000 and we'll do a new mailer over here. Then we'll do it again in 2 months with a different graphic or whatever, and we'll see what kind of conversion we get out of it, as well as other things on top of that. And then we'll watch with the tracking numbers how many leads come out of that area. I can afford to do that. When you're new, you can't afford to do that. And then all of this is good, but guys, what I did when I started, and within 3 months COVID happened and I couldn't do a lot of it, is door knock. If you're not scared to, if you're scared to door knock, maybe you came into the roofing industry with a plan B. I didn't have a plan B when I started. So, like this kind of stuff, you got to make sure that you're being scrappy first. Cheapest leads with the highest conversion.